Hello everyone, my name is Wick and welcome back to the Kill Count. Today we're covering the third movie in the John Wick anthology.
A lot of people say that this is their least favorite John Wick movie, and I can kind of see it. But the worst John Wick movie is still a really good action movie. Although the plot feels like they're making it up as it goes, they keep me engaged with these sick kills. The movie takes place literally immediately after the last one. Can the boogeyman overcome the weight of the entire underground coming after him? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie opens up with John running through the city with his dog. Sharon shows him pity, but Winston says that he deserves it. Jonathan hides in an alley and gets taunted by a homeless guy, played by professional rage baiter Jason Mantzoukas. Wick in his mud gets into a taxi and he gives a coin to the driver, telling him to make sure the concierge receives the dog. With 20 minutes remaining, he sprints into a library. He does a goofy little run to the librarian's desk and asks for a very specific book by a very specific author. He looks inside of it and finds a pic of his wife, a rosary, and a marker medallion. When he's done, a big ass motherfucking assassin steps up to him. This nigga's like 10 feet tall, bruh. The league needs you. Oh. He pulls out a knife and tries ending John. He actually seems to be kicking his butt. This guy's terrifying, yo. Collect my pages looking at. John pounds his face with a book, shoves it in his mouth, and then breaks his jaw. Ugh. Then sets the book up on the table, puts his neck on it, and snaps it. He steps over his dead body and puts the book back and leaves. When he does, he's identified by another hitman. He runs to the doctor from the first movie and begs for help. He says that it's too late, but helps anyways. Time runs out and the doctor drops everything, so John finishes the suitor himself. They know the high table won't believe that he stopped helping him, so John shoots the doctor to make it look like a robbery.
My floating rib, be sure not to hit my... Oh, wait! One may not be enough. Be sure not to graze my car.
If they were gonna frame it like that anyways, why didn't he just finish closing up the wound? Anyways, Wick dips and a bunch of people chase him. He passes through an antique weapons store and takes all the firearms he needs. One of the men chasing him walks through and he headshots him without even trying. Two more of them rush in looking for a fight and we get the sweet gun fu I was bitching about not having in the second movie. The fight seems pretty equal with both sides getting some good hits in. They remember that they're in a weapons store and take some of the knives to fight with. Wick sends a knife into the other's shoulder and then stabs his target with his own knife. The man flies in, kicks the boogeyman down, and tries to end his bloodline, but he misses. He picks that shit up and puts it right back into his shoulder. They break more cases and start throwing knives at each other. One of the assassins closes the gap but gets used as a human shield. Dude, stop throwing them! John bombards the other one with cutlery until he's full of them. This human shield tries shooting him, but he's stopped because Wick won't stop shooting daggers at him. Man, if looks could kill. Another two hitmen come for the king and we get this Jackie Chan ass fight scene that ends with him stabbing someone at the top of the head and slowly digging a blade in the other's eye. Apparently the bald one from earlier is still alive, so John sends an axe into his dome with perfect accuracy. When John walks away from the confrontation, he gets double sideswiped. God damn! Apparently this whole trilogy takes place within a few weeks, so there's no way he's actually getting up and healing from those injuries meaningfully. In universe, the last time he got hit that hard was 2 days ago. He gets up and runs into a stable while some hitmen chase after him. He hides and gets the drop on one of them. He knocks him out and tries to take his pistol, but some gunfire stops him from doing so. John runs around the corner to get in front of a horse. An assassin foolishly gets behind it, so John slaps his ass and the horse kicks him hard as hell in the head. He slides under a horse to get another guy and uses some gun fu to kick his ass. Somehow we get the same situation and the evil and intimidating horse strikes again. When another assassin attacks, we get an additional instance of some solid choreography. After John flips his goofy ass over, he ties a rope that was attached to the horse around his neck, then starts riding it. The nigga gets dragged and slammed into a wall. Wick rides through the streets of New York on horseback and gets tailed by some midnight motorists. One of them tries to grab him off that hoe, but John counters it by grabbing his gun and putting one in his dome. He kills the other guy by using the horse as cover and shooting him in the face. He goes to a movie theater and they turn him away until he shows the rosary. He walks to a table, sets down his cross, his marker, and a few coins. They ask him to take the belt off too and he begrudgingly accepts. He walks into a ballet practice and is greeted by the director, Jardani, why he came back. He says that he still has his ticket, the cross. She says that he's done so much fuck shit that his ticket isn't even valid anymore, and that the Ruska Roman crime syndicate could get in trouble with the high table for even speaking to him.
He tells her in Russia, I am Jardani Janovich. I am a child of Belarus, orphan of your tribe. You are bound to help me.
After that compelling speech, she decides to help him. I guess his Belarusian name is Jardani Janovich, and when he grew up, he changed it to John Wick. She commends him for making it out, then admonishes him for coming back all for a dog. Homegirl runs a whole ballerina and wrestling school. Seems like this is where he learned to fight. He says that he wants fast passage to Casablanca, Morocco. To use a ticket, you gotta brand it on your skin? John takes his shirt off and a tatted up dude presses the hot cross on his skin upside down. Ouch! The use of the ticket bans him from her orphanage. He must have been real desperate, holy. A short-haired person strides into the Continental and hands Cerrone a medallion. He calls up Winston, letting him know that the adjudicator is here to see him. He starts pleading that he told John not to kill him, and that he doesn't know where he's at, but they say that they're not here for that.
I've never done anything like this before.
Calm down, look, I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop.
They clarify that John killed Santino here, and demands to see the body. They reprimand him for letting Wick live after killing a high table member and says that he has 1 week to get his things packed while they choose his replacement for hotel manager. The same adjudicator pays a visit to the Bowery King. They ask not only why he didn't kill John, but why he gave him a gun to kill Santino. They give him the same 7 days as Winston to find a new king and get the fuck out of New York. The nigga laughs in their face and tells him he's keeping his shit. They tell him that he's not above the rules and dips. We cut to John in Casablanca. Wait just a second. You expect us to believe that in the city infested with hitmen, in the world overpopulated with niggas trying to kill Jar Jar, that he made it to his destination with no stress? Okay. The Belarusian gets the attention of some assassins. He takes an alley and gets cornered by them. He takes on a bunch of them while dodging their blades. A bald dude tells him to stop fighting and that the manager of the Moroccan Continental has granted an amnesty. When John turns his back to follow, an assassin tries to strike him, but his new friend pops him in the head. He takes him to her and wishes him good luck. While in the room, he gets confronted by her dogs, then shot by the manager, Sophia Alazoir. Homegirl lowers her pistol when John presents her with a marker she signed years ago. She said that since she's a manager now, she can't go around shooting people. Jardy says that he doesn't need that, and that he needs to speak to her old boss, Barada. Sounds like a Street Fighter character. She says that she has too much risk to help him. The reason she used the marker all those years ago was to help put her daughter in hiding. She says that if she makes an enemy or misbehaves, the table is going to send someone after her. I mean, they were able to trace a gun back to Morpheus, I don't blame her. He claims that all he wants is for her to try, and they're even. She complies and says that they're way less than even. The adjudicator sits down at a sushi stand and puts down her medallion. He locks in and asks what he needs. It's like that scene from Kill Bill, but they get to the point faster. The man, Zero, agrees to kill everyone that helped John Wick. They pull up to the Ruska Romanis and slaughter 4 of their dudes. They interrupt the director's show when they emerge from backstage. The adjudicator confronts her on helping out John. She said that he had a ticket and they let her know that he's done so much fuck shit that his ticket isn't even valid anymore. The price she must pay must be in blood. They tell her to take out her hands and show her loyalty. The old woman puts them together and says that she'll be of service. Zero whips out his blade and pierces both of her hands. Ugh! She took that shit like a gangsta. One girl stronger than me, I would have been hooting and hollering. We cut back to John and his bestie getting ready to chat with her boss. Barada kindly welcomes them and pets Sophie's dog. That's the guy from Black Mirror.
Your hot little face. Blurred fist, dick burping fucking spunk everywhere. Your mum's gonna love that on Facebook.
Twitter, Insta, fucking whatever. And her friends.
All eyes on you, giving it that. Tossing the cunts at work, calling you Spurty Magoo. Laughing at your cum face, making it their desktop wallpaper.
Well, it's not just weeks, we're talking years here. My picture's hang about on Google like a gypsy fucking curse.
There's no cure for the internet. It would never go away. It would be glued to your name, a fucking stain on you. I'd hang myself if that was me.
While they walk through his palace, he asks what they're there for. Before he gets his answer though, he asks him a question. Since the high table marked him for death, why the hell should he help him? John kneels and says that he wants to make amends, asking to speak with the one who sits above the table. He says that if he wants to find the elder, he has to walk until he can't walk anymore, then keep walking. They thank him, then turn to leave, but he stops them. He says that in exchange for the information, he wants Alazoir's dog. Of course she declines, because why would she agree? He says that if I can't have the dog, no one can, and shoots it! The hell? I don't really care for animals, but what the hell? She looks back at John, who tells her not to go crazy, then pulls out her gun and goes crazy. She shoots Barada in the dick and all hell breaks loose. She kills 3 dudes, then flips another. John kills 3 guys in the background while Sophia kills and throws another dude. She points her stick at the bastard and John pleads with her, telling her not to kill him. She comments that he killed her dog and John replies that he can heavily relate. So she just kneecaps him. Now they gotta fight their way out of that bitch. They shoot down 11 people until Sophia runs out of ammo. So she melees the guy, then shoots him in the head with her sidearm. She sticks her dog on one guy, then headshots him as he walks by. When they get into the next room, John kills a guy that tries hopping over. Sophia hides behind some pillars and kills 5 people while her dogs assist. I feel like this is what John's dog and him would be doing if he didn't leave him with Sharon. We cut to John and he knocks a guy down and uses his pistol to shoot him in the head, then kills another random guy. He shoots another person in the head before we switch back to Sophia's perspective. She shoots the man, then does a sick flip into shooting another man, then kills 2 more people. A guy tries cutting her, but she pushes him to the wall and shoots the back of his head, followed by another person after that. She easily mows down 12 men before one of them throws her on her ass. 2 would-be attackers are stopped by her dog, so she gets up and shoots them in the thinker. We cut back to John killing 2 mercs and cut back. Sophia kills 2 people, then 6 her dogs on 2 more people. Jar Jar kills 4 goons, and we see Sophia's dog take down 2 more. And John pops one in the head. How strong a dog got to be to do that to a man, yo? After that, he kills 4 more people that try to take his life. Sophia's getting some work in too, because she kills another 2. After game ending someone, he flips someone else and gets into a standoff of sorts. But they both run out of ammo. They get up and reload, but John finishes first, so he kills both of them.
After she kills 5 more people, he recoups with Sophia, and it seems like the fighting is over. Oh my god, I'm done counting kills. Sweet. Damn it!
Car pulls up with goons ready to take them out, and they strike first and kill them with the help of the dogs. Take the car and drive into the desert, so John can begin his journey to find the elder. Before he goes on his way, he completes the mark. She gives some water to the dogs and swishes the rest in her mouth and spits it back into the bottle. I know some niggas would conquer a saw challenge for that drop of water, yo. He walks through the desert in a suit with his bottle in hand, day and night, until he falls on his face. I don't know how he's doing that without AirPods. Back in New York, Zero continues his crusade at Morpheus' kingdom. Before he let other niggas kill for him, but this time he comes to the site personally to slay 3 of the Bowery King's bums. One of them shoots back with an SMG and an unseen nigga stabs him through the top of his head. Another one gets jumped and held down while Zero pierces his neck with a blade. The carnage continues when the ninjas kill 7 more of his men. They make their way to the king himself and the adjudicator walks in. He says he'll concede and pledges fealty, but they say it's too late. He replies by saying, "Then fuck you!"
Since he gave Wick 7 bullets, his punishment is 7 cuts. He prepares himself and Zero combos his bitch ass. Damn! Back in the desert, someone helps John by transporting him to the elder. Doesn't look that old to me. When he wakes up, the man offers him some water and asks why he wants to live. John says he wants to live for the memory of his wife, and asks just for the chance to earn back the life he had before Yosef killed his dog. The elder says that he'll give him his chance at life if he completes a task, but if he does it, he has to be the High Table's personal assassin. John takes the opportunity, and his first task is to slime his day 1, Winston. John kneels down and accepts, but first he has to pledge his fealty. They put a table and a blade in front of him, and he chops off his ring finger and gives the elder his ring. Bro, you could have just slipped it off. As he leaves, the elder tells him bentornato, which means welcome back in Italian. To complete the mission, he gives him a new fit. When he touches down in New York, he's instantly recognized by some hitmen, but they're snuffed out by the elder's men, and he's let through without any trouble. While he passes through the train station, Zero and his niggas surround him. John grabs the ninja behind him and stabs him in the head.
He with you? He was.
A few people walk past him and, what the hell? How did he do that? The sushi chef mobilizes his motorcycle goons to get him, but John clotheslines one of them and takes the other to the ground. He pops off the guy's helmet and bashes his skull in. The other motorist tries shooting at him but is disarmed in Mozambique. The elder must have put them in that nigga's water. He was not moving like this before. He gets on his bike and rides away. Zero, seeing all that goes down, gets on the other one and chases after him. They're followed by 5 more motor goons. They try slashing him and give him a bit of trouble, but he manages to shoot one of them in the head. Another one abandons his bike and hops on with someone else, and it steers into another guy, killing him when he tumbles off. Dude, what the hell? John takes the sword from a biker and slices his arm off. His dismembered arm hangs off, then gets caught in the wheel. His bike flips over and crashes into another guy, killing them both. John gets real close to the doubled up dummies and gets a double kill by stabbing them both through the chest, then throws a sword at the wheel in an attempt to cause a crash like the other dudes, but it fails. They take the fight to the main streets, but both of them end up tumbling and crashing right in front of the Continental. Zero goes to finish the job, but John rests his hands on the Continental, causing Sharon to spawn and stop him from killing. No, cause like, where did he come from? Zero says, but he's excommunicado. John asks for the manager, and the concierge brings them to the lobby. John takes a seat and his adversary takes an uncomfortably close seat next to him.
This nigga is crazy.
When he moves, the sword fighter starts glazing the legendary hitman, but he doesn't respond until Zero says they're the same, to which John replies, "I'm nothing like you." When he leaves to talk to Winston, he shoots up and says in Japanese, "We are both masters of death," but gets ignored again. He walks through the skull room that every man above the age of 30 has in their house and reaches his target. Winston says that he knows John has to kill him, so he offers him a gun if that's really what he wants to do. He says that he's got to step down, but he doesn't really want to, so he's going to war with the high table if John doesn't kill him. So he tells John to choose. Either he shoots him and he dies a pawn of the high table, or he fights with him and dies as a man who loved his wife. The adjudicator struts in and asks if Winston is going to step down and if John is going to kill his friend, to which they both tell him no. Bro, what was the whole point of the movie if you're just going to fight the high table anyway? Because of their insubordination, they call the admin to declare the hotel as deconsecrated, meaning it's no longer a safe space and niggas can kill each other now. In that moment, Winston reinstates John's Continental privileges and they go down to the armory. Sharon says that while John was gone, they beefed up the high table soldiers' armor, so they gotta use stronger weapons. All of the guests rush to leave the hotel so they don't get killed. The adjudicator interrupts Zero's shave to tell him that he's already bald, he doesn't have anything to shave. They tell him that he can kill Jar Jar now, and that he'll be receiving some help in the form of their soldiers. They arrive decked out in bulletproof armor, making it really hard to kill him. Yo, even Sharon getting in on the action. They leave the safe room and the concierge leads some hitmen to aid in their attack. John shoots them in the head and they ragdoll, but to his surprise they get back up. John shoots one of them in the back of the neck and lifts the mask of the other to shoot him in the eye. I guess the other guys didn't get the memo, because when they try to take him down they get Swiss cheese. The bullets don't seem to do much but slow them down, but Jardani uses that to his advantage. He shoots one down, then gets up close and fires in their weak spot. He leaves that area and fights his way to a smaller, safer one. He runs up to a guy he knocked, lifts his visor and shoots. After using his AR to lay down suppressive fire, he manages to mow someone down that tried to enter. He shoots down another one who dares oppose him. When he leaves that area, he shoots down a guy. He runs into action and out of ammo, so he sends the gun into his opponent. He uses the fallen soldier as a human shield while his bullets knock the other guy on his ass. When he's done with the man, he tripped him and then killed the first one, then executed him too. Jonathan runs back to the safe room and Sharon follows him in. They both load up on shotguns that contain armor-piercing rounds and get back into the fight. John instantly gets 3 headshots with his new toy. Sharon walks into a room and mows down 3 guys before reloading. Jar Jar rushes into the next room and hits 6 satisfying shotgun kills. When he presses forward, he disables one guy and slays 2 more. The guy he hobbled tries to get his revenge but is pushed aside. Another soldier attempts to disarm him but gets his leg pulled and his head destroyed. Alright, second tries a charm. You got this, high table soldier. Get revenge for all the people he killed. As he marches on, he's met with some resistance. He quickly overcomes it by tapping the dude with his sidearm and blowing him away with his shotgun. He uses the wall as cover and shoots 3 men from 2 different hallways, then an additional 3 after reloading. He ditches the shotgun since he's out of ammo and skedaddles. In the next room, we got some classic John Wick gun fu. He spins the guy, shoots 2 men, then kills the guy he originally was fighting. He grapples with the guy and they end up taking a dip in the pool beside him. In this iconic moment, we see John using his technical knowledge to his benefit. He knows that underwater bullets tend to drop off after a couple of meters, so he swims as far away as possible from his opponent until he runs out. He subsequently swims up close, then ends the man's life. When he swims up for air, he sees a soldier aiming down sights, but he's killed by Zero, stating that the only person that can kill John is him. We get a quick scene of the non-binary nuisance calling up Wonton to taunt him, but he doesn't even give her the time of day. Continuing the running joke of the antagonist getting hung up on, John strolls into the skull room aiming down sights but gets jumped by one of the ninjas. When he gets back up, he disappears and another one subs in to whoop Jar Jar some more. They keep kicking him into the skulls. Damn. He picks up his stick and they somehow vanish again. He sees Zero and shoots at him, but he's protected by glass. They follow each other to the other side of the— How did he do that? Jonathan cautiously searches for his enemies, but they find him first and just dismantle him and kick his ass through another glass pane. Our MC finally fights back and throws one of them down. One of them swings his sword at him, but he gets him into a hole. The other one tries slicing his target, not giving a damn about his homeboy's safety, and gets his blade stuck into the glass. John pushes the nigga's neck on it and slices it open. Nah. Jardani then disarms that man and kills him with his own sword. He ascends and is kindly welcomed by the shinobis, students of Zero. They knock him on his ass but help him up to give him a fair chance. If that's not plot armor, I don't know what is. He still gets his ass kicked, so I don't know what the point was. They let him get up again and he uses his belt to fight him like Robert Freeman. After an exciting and interesting fight, John suplexed one of them hard enough to crack the glass and slams the other one hard enough to fucking break it. The stage transition leaves the boys too hurt to get up, so they just play dead, and John says, "I'll be seeing you." Before finally fighting him, he tells John that if they didn't have to kill each other, they'd be friends. Yeah, I doubt that, nigga. Your bitch ass said that you admire him, but you send a shit ton of cannon fodder to weaken him before you fight him. John swings his weapon with force and rage like Anakin. 100k likes for a Star Wars kill count, yo. Zero puts his sword into John's neck and he walks into it as Zero backs up. Damn. They keep fighting and the short Asian baits John by sticking his neck out in front of him. He ducks under his swing and gives him a back shot. John turns around and he's gone and is right in front of him? What? They continue their battle and the swordsman disarms John and kicks him down. He returns the jester by throwing him down and disappearing, reappearing in the shadows behind him. He throws him into some glass and onto the ground, using the same trick to fool Zero when he gets up. The fight ends with John throwing Zero down and stabbing him with his own sword. He sits up and comments that was a pretty good fight. Giordani gets up to leave and the man he fought said that he'll catch up with him, but Wick declares that he won't, and Zero bleeds out right after. Win-Win gets a call from the adjudicator and listens this time. They ask for a parlay and he says that he's down to clown. They meet on the roof and the adjudicator warns Winston that this was the first wave of many and that the high table can fight for as long as they need. He replies that even if they take the Continental, the whole city of New York will click up for him. John walks in confused about what's going on. Winston says that he wants to keep his power, apologizes to the high table, and pledges his fealty by shooting John! He blasts him off the building and takes a nasty tumble. Good lord! They clean up the newly instated Continental building and Buzzcut walks in to tell the pair that John's gone. I mean, duh, no one can survive a fall like that. Oh, you mean like he's not there anymore? Winston shits himself when you realize the consequences.
You stabbed the devil in the back.
He got picked up by the same vagrant as before, then dumped out right in front of the king. Two men that were supposed to be dead.
Raise a hand if you can hear me, John. Oh shit, it took a finger. Ain't that a bitch?
The movie ends with Morpheus lamenting about how much he hates the high table and asking John if he wants revenge. He replies with the classic, yeah.
154 people died in the entire movie. With a runtime of 131 minutes, that leaves us with a kill on average every 1 minute and 10 seconds.
There were a lot of awesome kills in this movie, but I'd say the award for the coolest would have to go to the motorist on the bridge. It was a pretty fresh idea for the series to have him kill people on bikes like that. In the past, he killed them with cars, so it's nice to see a change of pace. The award for the lamest kill goes to the guy Sophia killed with her dog. The first few were cool, but they just overdid it, and it became kind of boring. Next week, I'll be covering the last John Wick movie, so stay tuned.
Au revoir.